Senator, we've got news coming in that a member of the vice president's staff in his office has tested positive for COVID-19. Neither the president nor the vice president had close contact with this person. They're doing contact tracing right now. Your reaction to this breaking news?
Well, it's not surprising. This is a highly contagious virus, and mission essential personnel have needed to continue to come to work to serve Americans. So we need more information, obviously, and the contact tracing is important to make sure. We've got to have key government officials able to continue to work while they're all practicing the best practices that the CDC has asked us all to do. I'm doing that with my team as well.
You know, let's turn to China. There's been this hot debate now. People like Joe Scarborough at MSNBC are saying, yeah, the media has been too complacent about what China has been doing. He is now criticizing China. Or should people be dialing back and saying, hey, we need China to help us out with medical supplies? What do you think?
Well, it's about time the mainstream media woke up on this. I was in the military 26 years. I've never trusted a communist, just as a general rule. This originated in China. What we needed from China was three things. First, being honest, which clearly they were not. Even as doctors were blowing the whistle on this, they, obviously closed them down, and now at least one of them is dead. They needed to be accessible, allowing our scientists and doctors and others to get in. They are not. They're still not. And as of this week, they're kicking out more journalists, and they also need to be accountable for what they're doing. The propaganda they have right now is if they're coming to the rescue of Europe and others as people are dying all over the world from this virus that that came in China is like an arsonist lighting a fire and then coming to help put it out, wanting to be the hero. And there's a lot of propaganda around it that our mainstream media should not be repeating. We have $1 trillion of debt with China. They should forgive it as part of their accountability to this virus.
You know, it's interesting what you just said, because again, the issue is with the regime, the communist regime, not the people of China.
Right.
The people of China are brilliant. They're creative. We need them, actually. It's the brutality of that regime, what they're doing to Muslims there with the torture of detainees, with their gulag-style prison camps. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, and Hong Kong as well. I mean, their human rights abuses are severe and long-standing. And you're right, the communist regime in China, they are not our friends. They have been on a path for a long time to replace us as the world leader. We need to not let that happen, but we need to be clear-eyed about their activities, to include today.
Something else happened that we found. China applied for Gilead's remdesivir patent for COVID-19 in and around mid to late January, 2 days before it really hit the rest of the world. It's a bit strange. Doesn't it raise a few eyebrows if China moved to own the patent to treat a global pandemic that started in their own country?
Again, it's not surprising. Had they alerted us last year, alerted the world, allowed the scientists to come in, contained it in a better way, we would have saved so many more lives. And now we are seeing deaths happening all over the world and all over America. So again, it's not surprising that they would take advantage of that as they look out for their own interests and not everybody else. You
know, Senator, the other thing we're studying and digging into NIH and Chinese CDC research and other scientific research, after the SARS outbreak in 2003, 2004, and now we're finding that laboratory research somehow out in Beijing in laboratories, that SARS-CoV research escaped the laboratories, infected people, 5 people died. Now, we have problems here with our research laboratories as well. Are you comfortable with biological level research that's going on with these type of viruses, and that people are being protected and safeguarded?
Well, I'm not familiar with that report from China, but I know in America, we have high standards, and we hold our people accountable to those standards to make sure that research can happen and that mistakes don't happen there. So, that's a part of what we do, and we're Americans, so we know how to do this the best. But I certainly wouldn't trust the Chinese, what they say or what they do.
And to what we're saying, I mean, the journal of, we're getting geeky here, virological methods. They talked about, quote, the ways to inactivate the virus, which would mean that you could research it at reduced safety levels. Then we looked at this other scientific article that said, listen, viruses from laboratories, they're going to come out. That's out of the clinical microbiology review. They're saying, listen, we're reducing the safety standards. You got to live with it. May happen. May have outbreaks. That's not good. Can't happen.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen those reports, but I can just say that we need to make sure, as we're dealing with the current crisis, that we very quickly get all the best minds together to find the treatment and also the vaccine for this. But then the next one may come. So what are we going to do to learn from this to ensure that we're prepared for the very next virus or other mutation that happens to protect the vulnerable and the elderly? So important research does need to happen. It needs to be safe while it happens, and we cannot be in a place where we're shutting down our economy in the drastic ways that we are from time to time because of a virus like this. Again, it would be helpful to know what patient zero is, what actually happened in China, so that we can save lives right now. And we got a whole lot of debriefing going forward to include bringing our pharmaceutical and other manufacturing home, so we're not relying on China.
Senator Martha McSally, you served our country. Thank you so much. Thanks, you for your service. Come back soon.
Absolutely.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
You be safe.
Hey, and our prayers are with everybody who's being affected by this.
Same here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to stay on the story.